Yeah, Sunday. What's up, everybody? Sunday night. Welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. We don't normally do a Sunday night edition, but due to the fact that we are in a situation where the markets will be closed tomorrow for a U.S. holiday, we are doing a Sunday night session so that we can take a look at some potential overnight setups for those of you that are interested. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get the alerts, the updates, all that fun stuff. If you are a regular viewer, do me a favor, leave a comment down below. The comments really mean a lot, helps the computers know that people are watching. And here's my question of the day. What is your favorite thing to trade on Sunday nights? What are you looking for on Sunday evening? So go ahead and get and give me your comments in there. So let's go ahead and get started. So the S&P this evening, we've opened up. We're 11 points higher as soon as the markets opened up. Now, if I look at a smaller time frame, look at a little 15-minute chart, we actually gapped down a few points at the open, gapped down about 10 points at the open, and immediately traded up. Immediately rallied up off that 15-minute gap area. Well, going to our 4-hour chart, we can see that we're still range bound, but our range has tightened. And so we have a breakout area sitting up here at 29.75, provided that I get some basing in front of the level. Now, how close to that basing need to be in front of the level? It needs to occur somewhere in about this tightness of a range. So I really need tight basing to make that make sense. Now, below my current price, what about my areas of demand? Well, as far as my areas of demand go, we do have a little level, and I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart to see. We do have a little bit of a level from the market open on Friday, and so I will highlight this area as I think this level could be one worth using. So I'm going to, now remember, we change our colors to a 15-minute chart, so it's purple. Now, if we get that level, that would be a decent little reversal opportunity. I just don't know that we're going to get there tonight, or maybe not even until Tuesday at some point. The Nasdaq gives me much the same. We do have a supply level up above us, but we're nowhere near that area. And even when we get there, that level, we are in an upward trend. Now, our 4-hour trend on the Nasdaq is a bit range bound, but not as range bound as the S&P. So we could be entering a resistance point. Let's see if price pulls back from this level. But we do have two quality areas of demand down below us, both located on the 15. If I go to a bit smaller time frame, this level right here, the same one that we found on the S&P, same time of day, is present in the Nasdaq as well. So those would be the two levels. I was really kind of hoping we'd have some gap over the weekend, that we can maybe do a gap and go trade, but really nothing so far. Looking at the Russell real quick, as I take a look at the rut, we see that our Russell, we've got a 4-hour chart, and our 4-hour chart of the rut, we are very sideways. Not a whole lot of momentum. Now, we did have a potential for a breakout trade in the rut where price came down into our level, and we were looking at this as an area. We didn't quite get true basing, got a little bit of a poke below before then rallying up above that region. So now what I'm looking for, if we get a bit of a pullback, same thing in this one that I have in my other markets as well, we would be looking at this region right in here, which would be our zone of quality demand. All right. Next, looking at crude oil. So in crude, moving over to commodities, we are looking at the crude September contract. We're between our areas of both supply and demand. Price, we can see price coming down from this region as we have a pretty long wick on the first candle of tonight. If I go to the smaller time frame, the 15 minutes, we can see that our initial candle immediately opened. We opened here and immediately traded down, and we're rallying back up a little bit from that range. Now, I will be interested to see if price rallies back up to about this level before a reversal. And the reason I'm looking at this level is because this is a fair price value area where price has hit a number of times, and we could see a bit of a reversal coming off of that level. So that could be a good opportunity for a candle-to-candle entry somewhere in this level if you happen to get that set up here in the next few minutes. But other than that, I really don't see a tremendous amount out there. Matter of fact, I actually believe that our volatility has come to an area in crude oil where you could start to look at some options on futures and maybe even do one of the shorter time frame expiration trades like an iron condor to stay in a bit of a range. That's a possibility. Speaking of which, let's talk about gold. Gold iron condor, we had spoken about this one a couple of days ago, and it's still a very valid trade for those of you that do trade iron condors options on futures. Other than that, on the 4-hour chart, we are technically in a bit of a downtrend. I do have, when I evaluate my trends, I look for swing highs and swing lows. And if I were just to evaluate my swing highs, I've got my last swing high is here. The prior swing high before that is here. My last swing low is here. The prior swing low before that is here. So by all technical definitions, we're in a downward trend. Now that downward trend, if I just kind of connect those highs and connect those lows, let me activate this real quick. Raise that one a bit. There we go. So connecting those highs and connecting those lows would tell me that there's a chance that we're going to see price come back down into this region. Now, this region is the one I'm selecting specifically because I think right there you have a pretty decent little area of demand. Now, I don't love this demand area because of the time of day that it was created. It's not the best time of day for a level to find a creation. So we can look for in the future to see if we come back into here, are we going to see a bit of a reversal? Now, I typically don't look for levels on the 4-hour chart. I go down to the 1-hour chart to really look for high quality levels, and that would take me all the way down to here for that high quality level inside of that zone. So that's where I would be looking for really the best next high quality demand area. Can we get a breakdown from this region? Sure, I think we can get a breakdown from this region. And if you are so inclined and you want to try an overnight breakdown, all of these sell wicks up here, all these upper wicks tell me that there's selling pressure. You could take a breakdown maybe below this 1729 area for price to keep moving lower. All right, looking at our bonds and currency markets. So first of all, in our bond markets, going to our 4-hour, I feel like a broken record, but I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying. Until we get out of this range, there's really no trades to take. Next. And that's as simple as that, folks. I mean, I don't want to overthink it. In the Aussie, we did actually put in a very technically sound double bottom, remembering that a double bottom should look like a bit of an unbalanced W. We've hit some resistance getting above the high of that double bottom. But if we do, and let's say we get a breakout, now this isn't setting up for a true breakout setup, but that would then become a retest area for price if we do rally out of there. So keep an eye on price rallying from here for this to become a quality area of demand. Next, in the euro. Euro, we do definitely have a downward trend. If I go to my 4-hour, it's a little bit cleaner to see. Swing low, swing high, swing low. Nice little supply area here up above. We're just being patient, waiting for price to come into that supply area. It has not done so as of yet. You could also get a breakdown below this area, and we may see that happen, between today and tomorrow. In the Canadian dollar, we are closing in on what could be a decent area of demand down here, which was right at the origin of this parabolic move straight up. But we've got to make it there first. Now, this one also put in a bit of a double bottom, but it got higher than the midsection of that double bottom, and I think could have another run left in it. If it does, I like this area here from a structure standpoint. I don't like the time of day that it was created. It's a very, very poor time of day. And so I want to stick to the demand area down here as my best potential reversal trade. As far as a reversal for a short, I think I'd rather just wait for a good breakdown to set up and join a breakdown. All right. Speaking of breakdowns, let's talk about the pound. So we had a pound area of demand over here that we just hovered in front of. Matter of fact, I think I took this level off on the daily market commentary on Friday. And we just hovered above that level. Well, now we've set ourselves up for a breakdown. And originally I had taken the breakdown below here, but I'm going to move it up to just right here for this point because we have stayed really strong above that region, and I think that would be your best breakdown area. Now, in my mind, your first target is right about here because you've got this little area of demand here to contend with. So 21.29 would be your main target in there. Japanese yen, as I look at the yen, we see that the yen big red candle has come down right here, but really it's nowhere near where I've got a potential breakdown level. I also don't have a coin reversal area in there, and that's because my 4-hour is very sideways. So one of the things that I want to preach is patience. Patience. Remember, we're in a total Globex session. The U.S. market doesn't open tomorrow, and we've got a lot of sideways markets. There's no reason to force a trade. So please, please, please remember that. You don't have to force a trade. Nobody is forcing you to trade. I'd much rather you go out and throw some some time with the family. Relax, enjoy the holiday. Remember what Memorial Day is actually for, and certainly have respect for all of those that have gone in their wake, which I certainly still do. So I appreciate all of you for being here on this wonderful, wonderful evening. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.